Financial implications of player injuries in professional sports often reveal fascinating patterns, particularly when examining the WNBA's current situation. With Caitlin Clark sidelined due to a quadriceps injury, the ripple effects across multiple sectors have become increasingly apparent. Recent broadcasts have suggested Clark's absence might be shorter than initially feared, with speculation pointing toward a return within days rather than the previously discussed 4 to 6 week timeline. However, the immediate consequences of her injury have already manifested in several measurable ways. Stadium attendance has noticeably declined, with numerous vacant seats visible during recent Indiana Fever matchups. Multiple factors likely contribute to this phenomenon, though the correlation with Clark's absence appears significant.
This is what Dawn Staley has said about Caitlin Clark. And, like, we can't forget, Dawn Staley literally, when her team won a national championship, she literally got up in her speech and thanked Caitlin Clark.
The gambling industry has experienced substantial disruption following Clark's injury. Sportsbook data reveals dramatic decreases in betting activity, with some platforms reporting reductions of approximately 50% for fever-related wagers. Caesar Sportsbook documented that wagering volume for Indiana's 2 most recent contests reached only half the amount generated during the team's initial 4 games this season before Clark sustained her injury. David Laverman, Caesar's basketball odds supervisor, acknowledged the anticipated impact while emphasizing Clark's extraordinary influence on both league popularity and WNBA gambling markets. BetMGM recorded a 37% decline in total wagers, including proposition bets and parlays, for recent Fever games against Washington and Connecticut compared to earlier season matchups. Their handle decreased by 23.5% during this period.
She thanked Caitlin Clark. And look, I don't have to be the biggest fan of Dawn Staley, mainly because of her relationship with one very, very specific. I don't even know if I can call this guy a fan, but like we know it's AJ Wilson's friend. But like I think she's an exceptional basketball coach. That's all I'll say. Don't think she's great for guards, but exceptional coach.
With her triple-double first game.
Well, I would say Caitlin will go down as probably one of the best players to ever grace the league.
Oh.
And she's going to probably do it. She's going to probably do it in half of the time that it takes any other great player.
Like she's not wrong.
DraftKings experienced a shift in betting patterns, noting that Clark's presence had previously generated lopsided action favoring Indiana. The Fever attracted over 90% of moneyline bets during their first 3 games, but this overwhelming support diminished following her injury. ESPN Bet reported that their most popular WNBA wager became Connecticut plus 12.5 points against Indiana, reflecting the changed dynamics. Fanatics Sportsbook also confirmed significant declines in both handle and bet count following Clark's injury, according to Kevin Hennessy, their communications vice president. These reductions represent substantial financial challenges for gambling operators, whose revenue models depend heavily on consistent wagering activity. The dramatic drop in WNBA betting interest demonstrates Clark's unique market value.
She is not wrong at all, to be honest.
When you're able to shoot the ball as well as she does, I think her passing ability, her court vision is second to none. Like her ability to deliver the basketball makes her like a triple threat. I mean, she rebounds the basketball. She's a big guard. Like, she's a big guard. Like, people don't know. Like, she's legitimately 6 feet.
Yeah.
So she sees over you. She's able to get her shot off on anyone. And I think the fact that they surrounded her with just such great talent, you know, a triple-double is going to be a normal thing for Caitlin.
It's mad. Like, she's literally out here saying a triple-double is going to be normal for Caitlin. Like,
CBS has announced plans for a new WNBA pregame program called WNBA Tip-Off, featuring Renee Montgomery and Dawn Staley as analysts, with Sarah Kostock serving as host. The show's schedule includes coverage of 2 Fever games, June 7th during Clark's current absence and August 9th when her return status remains uncertain. South Carolina coach Dawn Staley recently appeared on the Higher Learning podcast, where she discussed her upcoming book titled Uncommon Favor and shared deeply personal reflections questions about her team's semifinal loss to Iowa in the previous season's NCAA tournament, Staley explained that she uses the phrase uncommon favor when circumstances defy explanation. The defeat to Clark's Iowa team clearly left lasting emotional impact, as evidenced by her visible distress while discussing the game months later.
Caitlin is one triple-double off going to second all-time in triple-doubles. And like, she was on track. It looked like against the Atlanta Dream. If I'm not mistaken, she had like 4 rebounds and 4 assists in the first quarter. And I was like, she's actually going to go and get 2 in a row, isn't she?
Oh, normal. I mean, triple double. Like, she is third all time for triple doubles, and this is her second year in the league.
I don't even think she played 40 games.
No,
maybe no. She's probably played less than 45 games.
Oh, 100%.
Yep, 44 games for third all-time in triple-doubles. Like,
when asked about her most difficult coaching loss, Staley immediately identified the Iowa game as the most challenging of her career. Her pain stemmed not from personal disappointment, but from witnessing her players' heartbreak after their exceptional season ended unexpectedly. Staley described her team as outstanding individuals and competitors who had executed their responsibilities perfectly throughout the year. Her desire to see them achieve ultimate success made their semifinal elimination particularly devastating. The loss affected Staley so profoundly that she questioned divine intervention, wondering why such a deserving group of players faced disappointment. She admitted seeking answers to understand the reasoning behind their defeat.
It is funny with all of that stuff. It is genuinely funny, but the weird thing is people are kind of turned on Dawn Staley because she got like TMZ'd in an airport and they were like, who's the rookie of the year? And her answer was literally, I talked about this last year. Her answer, I'm not joking, was, oh, they've both been great. I think the Sky are ahead, so I'll just give it to Angel. Even though at that time the Fever were ahead of the Sky. I said this in a video. I'm like, Dawn Staley is not watching these games. Dawn Staley just gave an answer.
Staley found resolution the following season when her team captured the championship, interpreting this success as delayed vindication. She described this sequence as evidence of uncommon favor working in mysterious ways. The interview revealed 2 striking elements: Staley's continued emotional response to the Iowa loss, and her admission that Clark's performance prompted spiritual questioning. Her candid acknowledgement that the defeat challenged her faith demonstrates the profound impact of that particular game. The combination of Clark's injury affecting gambling markets, Staley's ongoing emotional processing of their previous encounter, and new television programming featuring potentially controversial figures creates an interesting convergence of storylines within women's basketball. Clark's influence extends far beyond individual statistics, affecting everything from betting patterns to veteran coaches' spiritual perspectives, while her absence continues generating measurable economic consequences across multiple industries. Dawn Staley has found herself at the center of attention once again, following remarks about Caitlin Clark in her recent publication. The South Carolina coach has released a new memoir where she discusses facing Clark and the Iowa team, creating significant discussion among basketball fans. Staley, known for speaking candidly on controversial topics, recently addressed the Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark incident involving a flagrant foul call, which she defended as appropriate. Many observers still view the play as a standard foul rather than flagrant. During a recent interview about her memoir titled Uncommon Favor, Staley revealed details about her most difficult coaching defeat. When asked about the book's title and its origins, she explained how she uses this expression when circumstances become inexplicable.
We won the championship. We lost to Iowa in the semifinals, and then that one hurt me really bad. Like it really, the failures hurt more than the victories.
Is that the toughest loss of your career? Of your coaching career?
Yeah.
That loss to Iowa, because that was the Caitlin Clark
yeah.
team. That's the toughest loss? Yeah.
Now, it's probably the toughest loss because of who she lost to. Let's just all keep it real, bro.
The conversation turned to her team's semifinal elimination against Iowa the season before winning the championship. Staley described this defeat as particularly painful, emphasizing how failures affect her more deeply than victories. When pressed about whether this Iowa loss represented her career's most challenging defeat, Staley confirmed it was indeed the toughest loss she had experienced as a coach, specifically because it came against Caitlin Clark. This response has generated significant discussion, particularly since Staley has experienced numerous defeats throughout her coaching tenure. The interview occurred after the recent national championship game loss to Paige Bucker's and Gino Auriemma's team.
Staley done lost a lot of games. You know what I'm saying? Now, this interview is filmed after this year's national title game. You just lost again to Paige Beckers and Gino Auriemma, and that's not your toughest loss. This game here, you didn't even make it to the damn championship game. The game you lost this year, you actually made it to the championship game and lost. You would think that one there should be your biggest one. But going off these black women not liking Caitlin Clark for whatever reason, that loss there was the most horrific one of them all. Are you serious, bro? Like,
critics point out the contradiction in calling the Iowa semifinal loss the most difficult when the recent championship game defeat would seemingly carry more weight. The Iowa loss prevented a championship game appearance, while the recent defeat came after reaching the title game. Staley elaborated on why the Iowa defeat affected her so profoundly, focusing on her players' disappointment rather than her own. She described having an exceptional team filled with outstanding individuals and competitors, making their failure to achieve their ultimate goal particularly heartbreaking. The coach explained how witnessing her players' pain affected her deeply, though she maintained her faith remained intact despite questioning divine intervention. She sought understanding for the defeat's purpose, which she claims became clear the following season when they captured the championship.
You didn't even make it to the damn championship. It's only significant because who you lost to. Let's go back to the footage, man.
Yes.
Why was that so hard?
Not for me, for my players.
For your players.
Like, we had a great team. We had a great team. They did all the right things. Great people, great competitors. So I wanted them to win. I wanted them to go off, with a bang.
Staley characterized the eventual championship as uncommon favor, suggesting divine timing in their success. The basketball community's response has been mixed, with many suggesting Staley appears bitter about the Clark situation despite ultimately achieving championship success. Observers question why the Clark-related loss continues to trouble her significantly. Social media reactions include criticism of South Carolina supporters for maintaining grievances about the situation. Comments highlight the perceived obsession with Clark, noting how a young player's performance has had such lasting impact on established coaches. Some responses point out the inconsistency in ranking losses, questioning how a semifinal defeat surpasses a championship game loss in difficulty. Others suggest this fixation may have influenced Olympic team selection decisions.
And when that didn't happen, they were hurt, and that hurt me. Like, that hurt me to my core. Now, it didn't hurt me enough to didn't think there was a God. But I did question, hey, why? I need to know why. I need to know why. But the answer to the why happened a year later. I can show you better than I can tell you.
Right.
So God left me on the why, and then followed it up, and I had no words besides it's uncommon favor.
The discussion extends to comparisons with other controversial incidents, including references to subsequent tournament results and coaching decisions that might have altered outcomes. In related basketball news, Ari McDonald recently returned to action with the Indiana Fever, contributing significantly to a team victory. Following an extended absence, McDonald was called upon to deliver meaningful minutes and responded effectively. McDonald described her preparation process, including extensive film study during travel and collaboration with teammates. She emphasized the importance of asking questions and absorbing information like a sponge during her brief preparation period. Her film review focused on understanding teammates' preferences, scouting opponents, and paying attention to crucial details. McDonald referenced concepts about quick decision-making in basketball and how they align with her preferred playing style. The guard explained how Indiana's system appealed to her while watching games during her time away, making her transition smoother when the opportunity arose. McDonald addressed the difficulty of maintaining readiness without guaranteed opportunities, describing recent weeks as challenging. Her preparation included physical training, mental conditioning through meditation, and emotional stability management. The transition from team absence to significant playing time within 48-72 hours presented unique challenges. McDonald credited her preparation work and team support for making the adjustment manageable. She described operating in survival mode, emphasizing the necessity of treating each opportunity as an audition, whether for current or future teams. This mindset drove her aggressive defensive approach and overall intensity. Veteran teammates provided crucial support through communication and guidance, helping McDonald understand systems and maintain confidence. Their assistance proved instrumental in her successful return performance. McDonald's defensive mentality stems from personal pride and competitive drive, qualities that had been dormant during recent struggles but re-emerged strongly during this opportunity. The team environment successfully brought out her natural competitive instincts, creating an enjoyable and successful experience. The performance represents both validation of preparation work and demonstration of readiness for future opportunities, regardless of where they might occur. Dawn Staley stands among the elite coaches in women's basketball, leading South Carolina's program with remarkable success. Her recent comments regarding Caitlin Clark have drawn significant attention, particularly given her previous statements and positions within basketball circles. As a member of the Olympic Selection Committee, Staley distinguished herself by being one of the few officials who openly acknowledged that Clark would likely secure a roster spot if team selection occurred at a later date. While other committee members maintained their original decisions regarding players like Chelsea Gray, Staley demonstrated transparency by admitting Clark's credentials warranted consideration for the squad. Her acknowledgement of Clark extends beyond Olympic discussions. Following South Carolina's national championship victory, Staley made headlines by specifically recognizing Clark during her championship speech, expressing gratitude for the Iowa Stars' contributions to women's basketball. This gesture highlighted Staley's appreciation for Clark's impact on the sport's growth and visibility. Regarding Clark's professional trajectory, Staley offered compelling analysis of her abilities and potential legacy. She projects Clark will establish herself among the greatest players in league history, potentially achieving this status in considerably less time than typical superstars require. Staley emphasized Clark's exceptional shooting capabilities, court vision, and passing skills as defining characteristics that create a unique triple threat dynamic. Clark's physical attributes also factor into Staley's assessment. Standing legitimately at 6 feet, Clark possesses size advantages over many guards, enabling her to execute shots over defenders and maintain excellent court visibility. Her rebounding ability complements her guard skills, creating versatility that enhances her team's offensive potential. The talent surrounding Clark in Indiana particularly impressed Staley, who predicted triple-doubles would become routine occurrences rather than exceptional performances. This prediction carries weight considering Clark's statistical achievements through limited professional experience. Clark's triple-double frequency has indeed proven remarkable. With approximately 44 games played across her first 2 professional seasons, she ranks 3rd all-time in career triple-doubles. Her pace toward this milestone appeared evident during various games, including strong first-quarter performances that suggested consecutive triple-double possibility. However, Staley faced criticism following an airport interview where reporters asked about Rookie of the Year considerations. Her response favored Angel Reese, citing Chicago's team performance despite Indiana actually holding superior records at that time. This incident sparked debate about whether Staley properly followed both teams' progress throughout the season. Critics suggested Staley's assessment reflected incomplete knowledge of current standings, as Chicago was struggling while Indiana was approaching 500 and showing improvement from their difficult early season stretch. The timing of these comments coincided with widespread media coverage of Indiana's initial struggles, potentially influencing public perception despite the team's subsequent progress. Staley's pre-draft evaluation of Clark also generated discussion. She emphasized respect for basketball history when discussing greatest college player debates, specifically mentioning Breanna Stewart's 4 championships and Final Four MVP awards. This comparison highlighted legitimate arguments about measuring individual excellence against team accomplishments. Stewart's unprecedented success at UConn, including 4 consecutive titles and tournament MVP honors, provides compelling evidence for greatest college player discussions. The debate centers on weighing individual statistics and impact versus team achievements, particularly when considering the supporting cast quality available to different players throughout their careers. Staley acknowledged Clark's role in driving record viewership for college basketball, crediting her as the primary factor behind unprecedented audience numbers. This recognition came despite some league officials' attempts to characterize 2024 viewership as anomalous rather than sustainable growth. The viewership discussion revealed interesting contradictions within basketball leadership. Some officials simultaneously labeled Clark an anomaly while arguing league growth transcended individual players. Staley's more direct acknowledgement of Clark's impact provided clearer analysis of actual viewing patterns and their underlying causes. From a coaching perspective, Staley's track record demonstrates exceptional program leadership and winning consistency. Her overall record validates her status among elite college basketball coaches, though some observers note less success developing guard talent compared to other positions. Historical examples include players like Zia Rivers, considered among South Carolina's best recent guards, who transferred to NC State after struggling to fit Staley's system. This pattern suggests potential limitations in guard development, though it doesn't diminish Staley's overall coaching excellence. Comparisons to other elite coaches like Gino Auriemma highlight different recruiting and development approaches. While Auriemma consistently attracts top-ranked prospects, Staley has built sustained success through different methods, demonstrating multiple pathways to championship-level programs. The broader context of these discussions reflects ongoing debates about player evaluation, media coverage, and the evolution of women's basketball. Staley's willingness to acknowledge Clark's exceptional impact while maintaining perspective on historical achievements demonstrates balanced analysis of contemporary and historical talent. Her coaching philosophy appears to emphasize system integration over individual accommodation, which explains both her program's consistency and occasional challenges with certain player types. This approach has generated sustained success while creating specific strengths and limitations in player development.